compadre Jeff Frazier, attorney.
Hey, I'm done fucking Bill Schuette.
I'm sure Bill will appreciate that.
Yuck.
The provider of the most interesting part of Planet Green Trees on some nights, the news bringer. He's back again. We like to call him Big Daddy. He also goes by Rick Thompson. Please welcome.
Only the women call me Big Daddy.
Wait a minute. Let's take a vote. There's 3 women here. Do we call him Big Daddy?
It's such a solid inside joke that still continues to get a laugh every now and then.
You know it.
And, of course, we like to describe him as the person that's responsible for everything that's happened. He is...
and everything that will happen.
Everything that will happen. He just left Integrity Farms, and he's here to...
Integrity Farms.
Joyous Integrity Farms. Jamie Lowell.
Hello. I got a weird feeling that you were in defense of Bill Schuette a minute ago, Michael. That you were going to, like, somehow say that maybe we shouldn't say "fuck Bill Schuette." But I can't imagine how you could ever overcome the need to say "fuck Bill Schuette."
Fuck Bill Schuette.
Well, what you missed beforehand was that, for those that don't know, we're on our 400 and whatever show.
11.
Before that, there was 100 on some other, before we started over again. And, say 500 shows. There's probably about 350 of them which are dedicated to Bill Schuette. We've got a lot of material out there. At some point, I began to believe that it became no longer entertaining. Like, what else? We've said it all. Like, it can't get any worse. And it became, not even creative to rip on him, because it became everybody knew. And Bill, when Cauley, the Republican debate, says everybody knows that Bill Schuette fucked up the medical marijuana program, like that was it. It was over, right? Like it was just like you know that the moon comes out at night. Anyways, I'm joking. But the reason why we're talking about it today was that there was I came across some of the old and not oftentimes thought out Attorney General opinions. I know. Okay, let me introduce David Ruda. You want to David Ruda is here, attorney,
begrudgingly,
Verdoy Law. Well, I was engaged me. I was going to introduce him, and then okay, that's fine. David Salo, you've
easily distracted.
What's up, everybody? Great to be back, and fuck Bill Schuette.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, David. You're supposed to be here last week. About the sorry. So the brief story about the Attorney General's opinions, which is part of, I think, in episode number 200 to 225, we went into great detail about these. But
you forgot about Esteban.
Yeah, where's Esteban?
He's on his way.
He's here.
Oh, Pooh Bear's here. Okay.
He's here.
Yeah, he always forgets about me. That's what our relationship has become. He just takes me for granted now. He forgets about me.
Where are you at, Stephen?
I decided this.
I am leaving. Yes.
You are my Pooh Bear to my Christopher Robbins. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll take that. And fuck Bill Schuette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need a cartoon drawn of Michael and Steve. Like the ambiguously gay dude. That'd be great. It's never been done before.
Robbins and Pooh Bear were not. Listen, he got him. It's all about the honey. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the honey.
That's right. I'm on the way with stuff.
All right, that's very good to hear. That's good. So it's a superfood, and I think we should all recognize that.
Absolutely.
Honey, organic honey.
That's true.
Very healthy.
So where exactly are you, Steve?
An estimated time of arrival?
Oh, about probably 30 minutes.
What?
Okay.
All right, we're going to strap in then.
Yeah.
All right.
We might have to devise something.
By the way, the spread.
Is Mad Max there?
No, he's not. He's running a little late, and by the way,
okay.
Josh was in charge of the spread, so only one person got food. Just so you know,
Josh.
It was a disaster.
Did Josh get himself a sandwich? I bet
he did.
Oh my God! Can't somebody take the reins if I'm not going to be there for a minute?
We thought Josh had it. He said he had it.
I brought you guys. Look at all the food I brought you guys. Come on.
We're good. It's all good.
Is it a Medical Madness Thursday?
No. Just
No.
tons of gummies. You'll see.
Steve, we're just waiting.
No, we want some coffee, Steve.
All right, I am fast, and I hope I don't get pulled over for speeding.
I hope not. But if you do, just tell them you're a cop, and they'll leave you alone.
Yeah, just casually flip your wallet open like you did on the last pullover.
I don't even have a badge. That was
I know,
my
but you
LEAP ID.
That's all you need. You don't need a badge. It's your ex-cop ID. It says this is an ex-cop.
My advice is don't get pulled over.
Yeah, that's better.
That is good advice.
Yes, exactly.
Keep your eyes.
That's the best advice. But I got to get there fast.
You do.
'Cause I hear there's an emergency there.
There
now,
is.
and
There's
I
an
gotta
emergency.
fix it.
It's very
I gotta fix
concentrated
it.
in a specific area. It's concentrated, but it's emergency.
Yes, and I can't wait to get there to help out with that situation and fix that emergency.
Good. That's good.
All right, so what are we talking about tonight? What's going on?
That's a good question. Jamie wants to talk about, amongst other things, the opt-in, opt-out
Ooh, that sounds
mandate, or
Yeah, that's a good one to talk about.
okay.
fun. How about we talk about?
What about Bill Schuette? I still
no.
talk about the
I mean-
importance of his opinion.
Well,
we
fuck
could,
Bill
We
Schuette.
could talk about Bill
Has he
Schuette,
done something?
the one opinion that actually
Has he
helped
done
us.
something recently that has he
No.
done something recently that has spurred this, or is this
No,
just
we're
bad
still
memory?
bitching
No,
about
he's just
The
reminiscing.
underlying-
Michael's trying to distract from the current administration's lack of action.
No, we can talk about the current administration. We can talk about that too, and I do want to talk about it. Here we go. In an opinion dated 9/16/2011, I believe written by Bill Schuette, 2009 Public Act 188, which prohibits smoking in public places and food service establishment, applies exclusively to. I mean, this is only important because it's research for the current tobacco products. Because marijuana is not a tobacco product, the smoking ban does not apply to the smoking of medical marijuana.
Right.
That says medical.
I agree.
Because marijuana, okay, the Michigan Medical Marijuana Initiated Law, etc., prohibits qualified registered patients from smoking marijuana in public places of food service establishments, hotels, motels, apartments, buildings, and any other places open to the public, but clearly would not be those public areas of food services, in private areas of those places. An owner of a hotel, motel, apartment building, or other similar facility can prohibit the smoking of marijuana and the growing of marijuana plants anywhere within the facility, and imposing such a prohibition does not violate the MMA. So that was an opinion intended to, give cover and protection to the owners of property that are renting and leasing for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it can't be done by way of the exclusion of and the natural prohibition of tobacco products, because that would not do it. It'd have to be from another reason. Or, said another way, the existence of the prohibitions of smoking tobacco products, as most places now are tobacco-free campuses or smoking-free campuses, it is explicit and specific as to tobacco products only, and doesn't reference or should not be considered to reference marijuana. Is that fair?
What about these court notices that we've seen nowadays popping up all over the place that say that you're not allowed to possess cannabis on court property or at court functions because they're still part of the federal program? Have you seen these?
No, but I can't imagine.
Well, we've
that.
seen those notices in the casinos and in the hotels.
They
hotels.
can't
say that.
prohibit the simple possession of marijuana. That's
what
ridiculous.
They'll say that too. They say
Sure.
it's
Yeah, I've
federal.
seen it. I've seen them posted photos that people have taken outside these
I know,
courthouses
like-
several places.
I saw something recently too. That's it, because there's no. While the MMA clearly has some articulated places where said possession would, if possession in certain areas, your immunity would be vitiated. Right? We know what those are. And but Prop 1 does not speak to that, other than maybe actively smoking in the passenger car. There's a specific reference to it.
Yeah, but what about a courthouse makes it not subject to state law, makes it subject to only federal law? It seems to me like the judge is saying, we get plowed by the state and we get paid by the state and we are hired by the state, but no, we only have to listen to federal law, which is what
There's
they're citing
nothing
in the
different
prohibition.
about that than Judge Summers. What judge said that?
It's on all of those things. All of those cite federal law is the reason why they can still ban marijuana possession on their property and on their grounds.
And how does
From
that
the
work
courts.
That I give a tough time
on an
with.
Indian
I think
reservation
that
where they say the
whatever
same
judge
thing?
just signed
Or
off on that,
and that's not federal
may
land.
have just walked themselves into they made. Listen, I'm looking at it from the perspective of another judge that made the same opinion known, in that the MMA didn't apply because it was conflicted with federal law, and they
Federal drug-free zone is what they're citing. Courts are a special area that is a drug-free area, which is the same reason supposedly they can ban firearm possession in certain places.
So
I don't know that they ban.
Here's the
prescription.
question, anyways, is that sure it's a drug-free area under federal law. Guess who gets to enforce federal law? Not state fucking courts.
Right.
They can't enforce federal law. They're stuck with Michigan law. Terbeek v. City of Wyoming says they're wrong. We're not enforcing those laws here in Michigan. And
However, the
that's not
MMA would have precluded
Good night.
it from being in the MMA would have precluded it from coming into a courthouse. And
Let me pipe in for a minute here. I talked to he's a investigator, certified police officer for the Detroit Water Department or Great Lakes Water Authority or whatever they're called now. And the other day I had a discussion with him, and he was trying to declare a federal law thing in the discussion. I told him I said to fuck off. He couldn't enforce federal law if he even tried. He doesn't even know what the local law is. That's dummy.
So what if the
So
court?
there's my 2 cents.
So if the court
So these
says-
cops always try to throw out this federal shit.
Well,
they can enforce it.
Hey, we've been dealing with that for 9 years of people saying that federal law meant that they didn't have to listen to state law, and that federal law meant that local communities didn't have to accept medical businesses, and federal law meant that all of our gains were for naught, and that they were going to shut us down any minute. We've been dealing with this for a long time. But I guess my real question is, if a court decides that it is now court policy not to allow it, and they cite the federal law, they could still enforce court policy.
I don't know, man. I maybe.
I mean, because it's the policy of the court, so therefore the agents of the court, which would be your bailiffs and such.
I think they need a reason. Like, they can ban cell phones because they don't want people recording the proceedings, and they cite specific reasons why they don't want that. There's no good reason to not allow somebody to possess.
what's the reason for not letting cell phones?
Because people could record
So what? It's a public
official
court.
proceedings.
So
Well,
what?
not all proceedings are recordable, I guess.
Well, they would
that's
kick you
true.
out of the courtroom if you can't see it.
I've been threatened by
state-
judges to be
state
removed from the
court.
court because of
Right.
I have
And
my
I mean,
cell
there's
phone
certain
out.
family
State
matters
court,
and stuff
state
that
law
you don't
allows
want
you to
people
I
possess.
don't.
recording.
I don't
One of
know
the
why they
areas
would.
you can't possess.
I don't understand that.
I was kicked out of a court with Steve Green one time for nodding my head too vigorously. That's an absolute truth. It's part of our lexicon.
And haven't you heard judges bitch about people like the audience at large kind of smelling like
making
pot?
noises
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm not saying that you won't get kicked out. I don't even know that there's a justification for not letting people bring their phones in, other than that may become disruptive.
How about Lapeer? Lapeer's courthouse. When Jamie Fricke was on trial, they made me take my phone back to the goddamn car,
Oh, yeah.
and they would not allow me to take notes. The bailiff said he would kick me out if I had paper and pen in my hand during the court proceeding.
Lapeer?
Wow.
Lapeer
I
is the
remember
court
that.
right
I saw
now. Wait on.
pretty
Lapeer is
cool.
the
Yeah.
court right now that has a metal detector unplugged. And nobody's standing around. It's the only courthouse that there's no security.
Where?
Lapeer.
There's no security.
There's no security.
Zero.
You could go and they would do a strip search and a cavity search at most places.
Yeah.
Lawyers have to. I got to take my belt off. I mean, it's insane. My watch.
It's a pretty cheap date just to go watch some court.
It wasn't Lapeer.
Yeah.
It wasn't Lapeer, Rick. It was like St. Clair County.
Was it St. Clair that?
Yeah.
St. Clair County or something.
Yeah.
St. Clair
Yeah.
County. I think I was there that day.
Yeah.
Oh, that could happen. Yeah, for sure. Oh, you got some. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was you and somebody else got kicked out.
Yeah,
for,
Steve
like-
Green.
Steve Green.
Steve Green from Hybrid Life.
Who was the
magazine.
case? What was the case? Which one was it?
It was a big court support. There's 20 of us.
Which case was it? The
Amstel.
Fricky? Amstel.
Right, wasn't it?
Amstel early on, right. There you
Probably.
go. Oh, yeah. You know why?
Clair.
It was Judge Cynthia Lane.
You're like doing this. It's like, get out.
Judge Cynthia Lane. Cynthia Lane.
Yeah. Now,
Just-
who's the district court?
Those
one,
are two
though?
different days that we're talking
We can
Yeah,
look
that
it up
was a
because it's
different
written
day.
about.
Oh, you were there? Were you there for that?
That's a
I was
different
my
there
day.
for-
syndication network.
That the
put
day
that
when he
out,
got
so it's
told he
all over
couldn't
the place.
write notes was a different day than the day he got kicked out.
Yeah, I've been kicked out multiple times
Charmy got
from
kicked
court.
out
What a
for saying
surprise,
law.
right?
No, yeah.
Agreeing
Rick
with
Thompson,
you in
sparkling
front of a
person.